Good evening. I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, pianist Rich Luck, who is performing this Sunday at the Palm Court at the French Quarter Festival. Great to see you, sir.
Nice to see you,
hello. Poppy Tooker, host of the weekly program Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Love you in Periwinkle, darling.
Thank you. It's
very
springtime.
Pretty. It is. Yeah, finally. And this is a music-filled program here because we have clarinetist Tim Laughlin, who has a brand new CD out, and he'll be performing a song from it along with being accompanied by Kris Tokarski. Welcome, welcome. Hello.
Thank you.
And
Good
I know
to be back.
you'll be busy at the French Quarter Festival too this
Already
weekend.
am. Yeah.
Already am, right. And we've got Alan Smason, who's back, editor of the online Crescent City Jewish News, who of course covers the local theater scene for us. So Poppy, I know we're going to talk French Quarter Festival, but first...
Well, I've been holding on to this news for a long time because actually, remember we mourned the closing of Restaurant One, and I heard shortly thereafter that there was a new restaurant that was going in there. The new restaurant is called Carrollton Market, and I had sort of an ear to the ground because there was a total transformation done on the inside by my good buddy Butch Emmons and his crew of professional construction and restoration. It's gorgeous inside, and it even includes a great bar where you can sit and see all the action going on in the kitchen. It's called the Carrollton Market because on that little neutral ground space just to the back of Hampson, that's where one of the city markets were. Now on the right hand side you see Stephen Dessinger and the other bartender. Stephen's actually the general manager, and he is really into fantastic cocktails, very serious about the program. But there is the owner and chef Jason Goodenough, along with the rest of his kitchen crew, and you can sit right there and watch them at work. And Stephen's drinks are very, very wonderful. Stephen Dessinger, he and Jason have worked together since they did some high-end restaurant work in Philadelphia. And that's the Glen, their 151 Swizzle with, that's just, oh my goodness. And the ice cubes, you know, it really does make an enormous difference. Isn't that a beautiful drink? That's got 151 rum and falernum and Peychaud bitters, and the bar is gorgeous. Everything's gorgeous there, but for goodness sake, let's talk food. And some of there are crispy fried pork tail tots that are boneless pigtails, pickled peppers, garlic chips, and Creole mustard jus. Then we've got, oh my goodness, the scent, oxtail terrine with potato, baby arugula, and really the scent just blew me away. There's puree of sweet potato soup with duck confit, cayenne creme fraiche. That is the gorgeous tomato crab salad with shaved fennel, crispy fried shallots, and wasabi. He's taking local ingredients. There's the soup. Sorry, I was out of order. He's taking local ingredients, and he's doing things that really nobody's thinking about here. That is, the oyster's good enough, and all I can say is more than good enough. The béarnaise will just knock you out. And there's the pan-roasted speckled trout with shrimp fried rice and a Thai yellow curry broth. A most immodest grilled quail that's served on pan perdue with pepper jelly, Benton's bacon, and warm frisée. This was so delicious. I just licked every one of those buns. And for dessert, how about the most incredible chocolate goodness with little perfect beignets and a white Russian like I've never seen, the way it's all separated, and it's really fun to drink. So go to Carrollton Market and check it out. It is new food. And since I'm talking about things that most people don't likely know about yet, there's something brand new that just started happening on Thursdays at Tracy's. Boiled crawfish prepared by Reggie Morris. Some of us know who that is.
Yes.
Look, you can sit outside. It was a gorgeous afternoon yesterday. The mud bugs are huge. It's every Thursday from 1 p.m. until they run out, which is usually around 8:30. They've got all the fixins with Manda's hot sausage and corn and potatoes and garlic and mushrooms and really well seasoned.
Reggie and the owner.
Yes,
here,
there's the owner of Tracy's, Jeffrey, and there's Reggie and that. And I'm telling you, it's delicious, and it's $10 for that huge tray, which it's about 3 pounds of crawfish. It's a great deal. Now, we cannot go through this weekend without mentioning French Quarter Fest, which is of course happening downtown. right now through Sunday. And do you know that there are almost 150 different choices of dishes to choose from? It always knocks me out that you can go to Jackson Square and get Antoine's Baked Alaska. Kay Paul's is serving butter beans that make you crazy, and this would make me crazy. Rice, chicken, pork, andouille, tasso, and duck, all in with the red beans. You can stop by the Tujak's booth and see Mark Ladder himself serving that famous brisket. And also in Jackson Square, don't miss Vance Faux Croissant and that hot sausage poor boy. I'm picking at the U.S. Mint the Three Muses lamb slider and feta fries. At Boucherie, they've got that 12-hour roast beef poor boy. And the new Broussards is making their French Quarter Fest debut with smoked duck and mushroom strudel and seared baby scallops. And if you're tired of battling the crowds, the Steamboat Natchez is offering a VIP experience on Sunday from 2 until 7, $50, incredible views, and brunches available with cocktails as well.
All right, thank you so much. Now that you've made us totally hungry.
I am too.
Thank you. And we turn to Tim with a brand new CD. And while we talk about this, though, we'll be showing you places that you can see Tim, including the French Quarter Festival. When are you performing?
Well, I actually played. I played today with the French Quarter Festival All Stars with Connie Jones, and that was a lot of fun. It was a 10-piece band, and then my group goes on tomorrow at Jackson Square at 11:15, and so I'll have some of the new stuff from the trio album, and it's my favorite festival to play because it's a free festival. I think it has the best food because it's fresh food from local restaurants, local hotels, and it really features local people all around, and it's user friendly for the customer, the people. I just call it the greatest block party in the world.
Absolutely.
You know?
But if someone can't come to the festival, they can see you on a regular basis at the Windsor Court.
Yeah, I've been there 2 years, and we play at the
Uh-huh.
cocktail bar 6 to 9, and with a trio. So and that's part of the reason I recorded. So.
And Palm Court too. This
Palm
is great.
Court next Thursday, the 17th. Yeah.
What a great place, and I know Rich will be playing there too. That's
Yeah.
one of my favorite places for live music. But tell us about your CD.
Well, I wanted to do something special with this one since we were playing at the Windsor Court with the trio. So I found out that we have a really good piano at the house, and we found out while tuning it, we took the thing and we looked up the serial number, and it was built during 1922, during the Jazz Age, and it's an old Mason and Hamlin, wonderful piano. The guys love playing it. So we rolled tape in the house with drums.
In your house?
In my house,
wow.
second floor in Royal Street, and we had all the bands going outside and the clip clop of the thing. We just closed the shutters and rolled tape, and unfortunately we didn't hear any bleed in. And we had the best time. We had great food, and we watched the Saints game on the break, and it was very memorable. And we got a whole hour of great trio music.
And I'm trusting that this is available.
Yeah, it is. We finally
all
put it
over?
into stores, and the official release is tomorrow at French Quarter Fest.
Okay,
And they can order it
great.
through my website, and I'll sign a copy and send it to them.
Sounds good. Now you're playing with Kris Tokarski, and what are you going to be performing in this
First tune will be Walter Donaldson tune he wrote in 1930 called "My Baby Just Cares for Me."
All right, we'll let you get up and go ahead and do that.
All
Thank you. And it's so nice to have Tim on, and of course, for so many years, he has worked with Pete Fountain.
Well, and that's Pete
And-
Fountain's original clarinet, Betsy.
We should point that
That's
out.
right.
Absolutely. So note we've got 3 stars over there.
Oh, yeah.
Our musicians plus the clarinet too. So are we ready to go here?
Yep.
Yes, we are. Proceed, sir. later, but now it's time for Mr. Smason, who was out last week, to play catch-up.
Oh, yeah. Well, many of the viewers, I'm sure, were wondering where I got into last week. You know, there must be either a very good reason, very good theater, or a very strong drink to get me away from viewing theater and our wonderful New Orleans climb. Well, I'm happy to report that all three were in play last week when I was in Louisville, as I enjoyed being in bourbon country. And I was there for the 50th anniversary of the Actors Theater of Louisville and their 38th presentation of the Humana Festival of New American Plays. There were 6 major plays, 2 shorter presentations. It was done in the space of 4 days. And many of these works may work their way to New Orleans very, very shortly. We hope that within another year or so. This was also the 40th anniversary of the American Theater Critics Association, of which I'm a card-carrying member. Every year at Humana, ATCA presents awards from the Steinberg family in the gift of $40,000, $25,000 for the top winner, and then two $7,500 prizes that we give to honorable citations. The top honor went this year to I and You by Lauren Gunderson, a drama about 2 teenagers. The American Theater Critics Association's chair is Jonathan Abarbanel. He's from Chicago, and you'll see he's wearing a pair of Mardi Gras beads to denote the fact that this very select group, a group that helps in the selection process of the Regional Tony Awards and the Theater Hall of Fame, has decided to make New Orleans their conference location in 2015.
That's big news.
And it's going to be paired with the Tennessee Williams New Orleans Literary Festival, and guess who's going to be the point man in charge? So I'm looking forward to it. Also, to bring it on home, celebrating the fact with Jonathan, are New Orleanians and resident playwright Gabrielle Reisman on the left, and NOLA Project and Shakespeare Festival actor Alex Ates on the right. They're very excited about the conference. Jonathan's in the middle, of course, and you'll note that they're all holding expertly mixed Sazeracs made by yours truly. I even got a little bit of a cameo there along with Gabby and Jonathan, celebrating what could be one of the most intense periods of theater here in recent memory.
Now, why were you holding a giant bottle earlier?
That's from the Evan Williams experience. Of course, it's bourbon country.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
right.
they toured.
We just want to know.
Now, I did get a chance, I want to mention that I did get a chance to see the Always Lounge in Theater's production of The Normal Heart. Larry Kramer wrote what is largely an autobiographical piece that is on the beginnings of what we know as now the AIDS crisis in New York City from 1981 to 1984. This is a play that opened in 1985. It covers that particular period when no one knew what it was that was killing literally hundreds of gay men there. The play opened off-Broadway and was later revived in London and also in Los Angeles before it was brought back to off-Broadway in 2004, and more recently it opened again on Broadway for the very first time, where it received the Tony Award for Best Revival of a Play in 2011. It will soon be a TV drama starring Mark Ruffalo and Jim Parsons. The Always Lounge in Theater is presenting this work for the very first time in New Orleans. It may be that the distance of some 30 years from that action may have made the play less painful, but no more, less compelling and heartrending. New York actor Nick Shackelford, who you'll see here, has just relocated to New Orleans. He's quite riveting as Ned Weeks, the tireless, in-your-face, confrontational AIDS activist who, like Kramer, organizes crisis groups to combat the disease and its outcome. And Shackelford really gives a tour de force performance. Also quite good on the stage and giving a memorable performance is Sam Dudley as Felix Turner, his lover, a New York Times fashion critic. Also right up there is Leon Convespri as Ned's attorney brother Ben, and then Kyle Daggerpoint, I mentioned, is a city worker who's too scared to come out during this crisis and be announced as being a gay man. Also very, very impressive is Jonathan Maris as the president of the organization, Lisa Piccone as the doctor, making connections between the sexual promiscuity in that community and the spread of what will be later known as HIV. It's a powerful drama, and it really has some gritty language. I have to tell you, though, it's worthy of being seen. The triumph of love over death and the indomitable spirit of the human race in rising above this tragedy. It only has a week left. Go check it out till April the 19th. Now, Death of a Salesman. We just had the announcement that the tickets are on sale now for Death of a Salesman, but they just let us know who the cast is going to be. So we want to let you know, Death of a Salesman, considered by many the greatest American play ever, and certainly Arthur Miller's most enduring piece. The cast was announced along with Mary Pauley in the role of Linda Lohman will be George Sanchez, who you see here. He will be the titular character, Willie Lohman. And I spoke with Cassie Steck-Worley. She's the executive director at Le Petit about the ATCA conference coming here, so she's very excited as well. Openings this week. Let's take a look at that. We're going to have at Harris Theater the sequel to last year's Spank. That's the parody of 50 Shades of Grey. Opened last night, playing on the stage at Harris Casino is Spank Harder, the sequel. Yes, if you ever thought it was safe to finally put away that belt, think again. Spank Harder is a national touring show. It'll tie you up till Sunday. And again, the details are there. And also, now that his parole is finally over, it's time for former city councilman and mayoral hopeful Oliver Thomas to recollect about his time in office in his reflections, too, on the stage at the Anthony Bean Community Theater. There'll be another council member, Cynthia Willard Lewis, and former school board member Gail Glappian, along with Gwendolyn Foxworth, Harold X. Evans, and Alfred Aubrey, who will also be occupying the stage. So there you have it. Also, before we finish up for the day, continuing on stage, two groups have already opened up this week, one for the kids and the others for the grown-ups. For the kids, it's Pinkalicious at the Rivertown Theaters for the Performing Arts, and there's the details on that at Rivertown. And then for the grown-ups, well, yes, indeed, the Golden Girls will be returning. That's through April the 27th, with a cast including Ricky Graham, Brooklyn Schaefer, Varla Jean Merman, and others.
All right, thank you so much. And turning to Rich, look, where do I begin? Jingle King, New York, Madison Avenue, including what are your favorites? What was that
Jingles? Well, the biggest one that I actually wrote was brush your breath, brush your breath, brush your breath with Dentine. Four words that bought me a house in the Hamptons.
Okay, and then Japanese music star. Now, how does that happen?
Well, I grew up in Tokyo, and somebody put out a call for there was actually an incident that happened in. It's a longer story than I should try to tell, but anyway, the Japanese networks were scrambling to get out English language programs in any kind of form possible because of an incident that happened somewhere near New Orleans, where a Japanese exchange student was shot dead because he didn't understand the word freeze. It was Halloween night, and he was in a costume, and he was approaching a house, and the owner of the house had issues with, there was a domestic squabble going on, and the next thing you know, this poor Japanese guy is dead. So this was a program that I did for 5.5 years about idiomatic expressions in English.
Because you translate Japanese to this day.
I speak it, but
and
so it was a bilingual show.
Okay.
So I've had many sort of odd jobs over the years, and I continue.
Now, but you married a New Orleans gal, and you've been here for many years.
Been here for 20 years.
Yeah, and you're performing on Sunday at the Palm Court.
Yes, and this is I've been to that wonderful festival for 20 years. All 20 years I've been here, or however long it's been on. Tim, how long has that been on?
31 years.
Yeah, so I have. As with Jazz Fest, that's what first brought me to New Orleans. And the following year, I came down here and pretty much stayed. That's what happens in New Orleans. I mean, when people have no idea, and they come here and they say, "My God, how long has this been going on?"
We are going to let you sing your title tune from Louisiana Moon and set it up, but we'll let you get up and go over to the other side of the studio first. And we are so fortunate to have Rich. Look, Rich was quite the fixture at Le Chat Noir, who they live pretty close to it too. But I've seen many a performance with him, and we're so delighted that he's once again performing too.
This is from his new CD, then.
Louisiana Moon. Here we go. All right, you ready, sir?
Yes.
Let's proceed.
Where are we here?
Well, we're coming around for you.
If I may just say a word about this song, it's the first song I wrote since moving to New Orleans, right after, in about 1994. And it was a reflection, as many songwriters do. They find themselves looking at the moon, and it sort of symbolizes whatever's in your mind. And I thought that the moon of New Orleans, unlike the moon over New York, reflected a certain undertone that Mark Twain even remarked on. That was sort of a sadness that goes as the flip side of the joy that most people associate and experience in New Orleans. I saw you crying the other night. The Mississippi caught your tears. Louisiana moon hanging in the sky, melancholy moon, come into my room as the clouds drift by. Louisiana moon, won't you tell me why? They see you smiling when you're shining over Mobile Bay, and you're laughing with the stars when you shine over LA. But when you shine above us in the Bayou State, you look like you feel each and every heartbreak, Louisiana moon. Oh, I can hear you sigh. Won't you light the way for me and my baby tonight? I saw you crying the other night. The Mississippi caught your tears, swept them down the river to the Gulf of Mexico. Now they'll wash around the world for years. Louisiana moon, I can hear you sigh. Won't you light the way for me and my baby tonight?
Wonderful. And now it's time, though, for our Artist Spotlight. Tonight we are featuring 3 pieces. The first is The Nest of Lofty Solitude by German-born Kris Tokarski. Plus, by the way, Kris, after falling in love in New Orleans, talking about New Orleans, decided to stay here. So we're glad that he did that. We also have Full Flowering by Bay St. Louis artist Cat Fitzpatrick. And the third is Happy Sunflowers by New Orleans native Susan Hotard, who now resides in the Houston area. They are all part of the group exhibit 3 Voices, and that's at the Garden District Gallery, and that's through April 27th. So you can call the gallery for more information on that. And now, though, it is time to not forget that you can visit WYES.org to see our online calendar. You can also see us online on demand at WYES.org. That's our website. New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. I know that's your favorite street, Rich. And last time, Logan Smith gave us the names of 2 of several French Quarter alleys that are named. You could have said Pirates Alley, Dutch Alley, or Exchange Alley. Okay, now tonight's question, though. There are 2 mounted statues in the French Quarter, each honoring a person who fought the British. Name them. Email your answers to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prize is a Louisiana Life magazine subscription, a gift certificate for Vianne's Tea House, offering their culinary and gourmet tea experience for 2. Tonight we have a T-shirt as worn by WYES intern Mike Yoder. The message, wine and the world wines with you, from our friends at wearablevegetables.com. And this week we have a copy of Mardi Gras, Chronicles of the New Orleans Carnival by WYES's own Errol Laborde, who, by the way, is signing his book tomorrow night from 5 to 7 at Bay Books in Bay St. Louis. The book is from our friends at Pelican Publishing. So we've got all of that, but now it's time for our picks. Tim.
Well, you always let me toot my horn, so
Yes.
I'm going to let everybody know I'll be at Jackson Square tomorrow. I have a stellar band with me, Connie Jones, and a great rhythm section, 11:15 to 12:30.
All right, and we'll let you get up and play one more tune. What are you playing for us?
James P. Johnson's If I Could Be With You 1 hour tonight.
Thanks to you and Kris, and we'll let you do that. Poppy.
Get out of the madding crowd, but enjoy the scene at Jackson Square at Dickie Brennan's Tableau, where from 3 to 7 every day, there's special drinks from $3.50 and small plates from $5.
All right, Rich.
Go to the French Quarter, get lost, and on Sunday find your way to the Palm Court, where I'll be playing for an hour.
Okay, Alan.
I know, Peggy, you saw it, but this is the last week to see the production of Southern Rep's Night of the Iguana. Fabulous. Mike Harkins, A.M.A. Hayes, Troy Bichet through this weekend. And again, there's the information at the Art Club.
And I cannot recommend it highly enough. It was a terrific production. And before we go, though, we wanted to note the passing of such a talented artist and longtime New Orleanian, nationally known George Durow. Next week, art critic John Kemp will reflect on the artist's amazing talent and career. And now my picks. The Friends of the Jefferson Parish Public Library are having a huge book sale, and that's on Saturday and Sunday at the Pontchartrain Center. The Friends of St. Alphonsus, they will be holding their annual art auction and gala Saturday evening at St. Alphonsus Church in the Irish Channel. Go to stalphonsusneworleans.org for more details. The New Orleans Old Garden Rose Society will have their annual rose sale. That's on Sunday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Lakeside Mall near Macy's. A great opportunity there. And a list of roses are on their website. And the New Orleans International Puppet Festival continues this weekend at the Marigny Opera House. And looking ahead, the work of over 100 New Orleans photographers will be on view and available at the New Orleans Museum of Art. That's next Friday night in conjunction with the Photo Alliance of New Orleans. Now we leave you with much more terrific music from Tim Laughlin and Kris Tokarski. Thanks again for watching and good night.
Thank you.